Hit properties.
That's right. Don't blame yourself. Blame me.
Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Micah Curtis here. How's everybody doing tonight? Who all we got in the chat? We got Daniel Parker's here, Servant of God, Darth Bobcat, Hardboiled Entertainment, Angry Green Boss, Gabe the Gen, Torino de Guzman, Ian Renner. SGD is here, Magical Robot Prisma. What's up? People are still kind of filing in, which is all right. Hope everybody's having a good day. I am. I'm having a very good day, actually. Give me just a moment to kind of show you why I'm having a good day. And it is because of this. Right here. We are over 1/3 of the way there when it comes to getting Englewood Book 2 funded. I am incredibly happy about this. Because admittedly, we had a little bit of a slow start. You know, it didn't quite go as quick as I was expecting to start off with, but you know, as time has gone on, it has spiked up, you know, and dude, that puts me in some good spirits. Honestly, I'm super excited about this book because again, we get to finally, because people have been waiting. I don't remember when we fulfilled Englewood Book 1. It was sometime last year, but ever since then, even though people really liked Three Nights, you know, it was obviously a very successful campaign. We made $25,000 off of it. Even though we had that success, people are always wondering, when's the next Englewood? When are you? Fuck Carlos, man! I want to see him get fucked up. So, needless to say, we're happy to provide here at Sleeveless Comics. Very happy to provide. So yeah, I'm excited. Ian Renner here says, crap, be right back, gotta back it. Boomerism won't stop me this time. Hardboiled just dropped the link in the chat, actually, so go ahead, just follow that right there. That'll take you to it. One thing I should actually say a thank you to is to 420 Gunny, who lucked out, and he polished off the last Be a Cop tier, which is awesome. He bought not only this tier, but he bought another copy of issue 1 and another copy of book 2 for a friend of his, which is awesome. Get your buddies into it. This is a good campaign to get your friends into Englewood. Like, seriously, because you can get them both books, you know? Which is right here. Book 1 and 2 for $45 plus shipping. Another thing to mention is that all these other tiers, except for the digital, because this one we will soon have for direct order, to where for book 1, where you can just hit me up and say, hey, Micah, I want to get a digital copy of the first book. Can you here's my money. Can you give this to me? And the answer will be yes. Absolutely. And then I'll just send it over to them. So yeah. That will be that will definitely be in the future. More so than anything, though. Another reason that I'm in a good mood is, and I know I have this bad tendency to speak slow. So for those of you watching a replay, just watch this on double speed. I went on a live stream yesterday, and it was kind of interesting because the dude who hosts the show, he emailed me yesterday morning, and he goes, hey, Micah, I saw that Englewood's funding's going a little bit slow. Would you be interested in coming onto my show, having a sit down, and we talk about the book, and you promote it a bit. Maybe you'll get some sales. And thank you, Serena. By the way, look what I fixed. I figured out a way to get StreamYards and Streamlabs to talk to each other. I don't know if you guys heard the notification noise. Probably didn't. But that's really cool that I can finally do that, because all I have to do, since OBS now has a feature where you can use it as a virtual camera, I can basically use both platforms simultaneously. Plus, it'll make it really easy for me to have groups of people in here. So that's really cool. So, because I will admit that that's kind of the downside of whatchamacallit, of having OBS, is that if you're going to have like a bunch of people on a stream with you, they're either going to be restricted to voice, or you're going to have them call in through like Zoom or something to set up each individual window, and that would be a pain in the ass to do. So there you go. But anyway, let's see what Serena said real quick. Goes in a buck and says, I'm glad you're in good spirits again, Micah. I found some CG-oriented podcasts and shows for you to advertise Englewood on. Also, do you know anyone that can help me with the financial end of the campaign? It depends on what you mean by the financial end. If you're talking about somebody to handle the money for you, I don't. When it comes to taxes, Hatman was the only person that I knew that could really do it. And he can't do it for other people because he's doing it for me. So I don't know, honestly. It's not something I can really help out with. I will freely admit that I am not Mr. Budget. I can run numbers and give you an idea of how much something might cost. But on the flip side, I don't manage money for people. I just don't, because I'm just not good at it. I put it in the hands of more trustworthy people. So the great thing about having somebody else manage your money for you is that they're less impulsive than you are with your money. So yes, that's why it's good to have a Hatman. So that's something I advise for a lot of people. Go find you a Hatman. You can't have mine. Mine's taken. But yeah. It's good to have one. But anywho. So this guy who goes by the username of Well-Read User, he emailed me, and I basically said, and I watched a couple of his streams, and I really enjoyed his reviews, but the latter half was kind of dramatic, a lot of inner Comicsgate drama stuff, which is not really my jam. Nothing against Well-Read User, by the way. Yesterday when I was on his show, he was very cordial to me. Like he and I have had some run-ins into the past that were not cordial. And despite them, he was cordial and professional. So that's very much appreciated. Thank you, Well-Read, for that. But anyway. But somebody DMs me and says, hey, EVS is on that show, and he's pissed at you. He's talking a load of shit about you. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, well, that's interesting. Because the last I talked to Ethan, we did have a bit of a yelling match. In regards to a couple of things that really aren't worth mentioning, because it's whatever. But I had thought that at the end of the show that I was on, that was kind of it. It's like, he's going his way, I'm going my way, and then ne'er the two shall ever meet again, which I was fine with. Nothing against the guy. I genuinely speaking just don't really care about all of the infighting and all this other stuff that's gone on. I basically said, like, I'm going to go have my corner of the world, do my thing according to my beliefs, and then what other people decide to do is what other people decide to do. But anyway, so I go on there, get in the chat. I'm like, what's all the anger about? And they invite me on, so I pop in for a bit, and we talk, and we kind of got to. I think I finally understood Ethan's perspective on some things when it comes to me, and why he's so pissed off at me. From what I can tell, he feels like I don't appreciate what he did for me whenever he was having me on his show and all this other stuff. And he felt like I betrayed him. And the funny thing about it was and what I tried to do was just kind of explain my perspective on things in regards to some things that I had said. One of which was an off-color joke about me not going on his show during the promotion for 3 nights. Which, by the way, he doesn't owe me anything. And ultimately, whenever it comes to internet promotion, nobody owes you anything. So, like, if he didn't want me on there for whatever reason, well, that's his show. You know? That's perfectly fine. And that was just my perspective. It's like, oh, okay, you know. And he took me a statement that I had made, which I didn't mean to insult him with, as an insult. Because when he gave me his perspective, I kind of understood why he was so pissed off about it. Because basically what I had done is I had made a big deal of the fact that I had, done, I didn't do any promoting on that book with him, at least while it was out. One thing he did point out is that while it was in early production, we did show off art from it, which was true. Because I remember one show we were on, it was like 3 a.m. It was me, him, and Art T. Bear just shooting the shit. I think it was the episode where of Comicsgate Live where we were joking about the ways that Art and Ethan were secretly going to murder me, which was a hilarious episode. God, those were fun times, man. I miss hanging out with Ethan, But anyway, like that was kind of it, which I remember at the time I had kind of left a bunch of DM groups that I was in, that were CG ones that he had set up and brought me into. And the big thing is that I get where he's coming from. I didn't before, and then finally talking to him, now I get it. We'll just put it that way. I get it, So part of me wants to give my perspective on why why I wore that. It's the weird thing is that doing it without Ethan, I'm putting that in air quotes because he did congratulate me publicly when that book got funded. And then when we cracked certain goals, you go on Twitter, you'll see that, so it's not like he ever wanted me to fail. He's publicly said he does not want me to fail. Which is nice because there are people out there that want me to fail. We talked about that last week. Somebody who wants me to fail. What's her name? Handler. I already Cousin It. Like she wants me to fail. Obviously, she wants Englewood Book 2 to fail. So regardless, he really felt that when I did that, and Ethan likes to joke around, but I really realized when he said that he felt like Chloe, that's it. Thank you, Angry Green Boss. When he did say he felt like I spit in his face, he was being sincere. And I'll be honest, I was not on cam at the time, because I was actually still kind of recovering from a headache from that morning. And I knew I was going to have to pull to a 24-hour day, basically, which fucking sucks. But I could tell he was being sincere. And then, my camera was not on because I looked like shit. I didn't even have my glasses on. I just buried my face in my hands. Because I realized it's like, dude, this dude and I were pretty tight, for having never met each other face to face. And he really felt like the way that I conducted myself, even though I didn't mean to be harmful, I ended up being harmful anyway. Ended up coming across like a dick. Because at the end of the day, this is something that I'm having to learn as I'm getting older. I do come across as very abrasive. I do come across as very matter of fact and very confrontational, even when I don't mean to be. And I don't know why that is. There's probably a dozen reasons that a psychologist could probably pull apart. In which case, if I ever if you feel the need to see a head shrinker again, I'll, maybe we'll get an analysis of the insanity of Micah Curtis. But when it comes right down to it, what I would rather do before explaining why I think that, or why it was such a big deal to me, I would rather just say the following. Ethan, I'm sorry. Seriously. I did not mean to do that. And honestly, if I could go back and handle things better than I did, I would. I wish I could give more than an apology, but ultimately that's life as a man. You own up to your mistakes. You hurt somebody you don't mean to hurt. You own up to it, and you just try to be a better man. So that's something that I'm going to have to keep in mind, is just, how the decisions I make and the way that I phrase things and things like that, how does that affect the people that are around me? The people that are associated with me. Because at the end of the day, I don't want anything that I do to reflect negatively on the people that I cherish, And EBS is a guy that, I'm not only am I incredibly grateful at the fact that he helped me to get my book in front of people. He picked me to do it. He didn't have, I never asked him. In fact, I don't know if I've ever asked him for much. I think because I just don't like asking for myself, I'll ask for other people to help for help from others. But yeah, I don't like asking help for myself. So for him to do that, he went out of his way, and that's something that is appreciated, And I could have shown it a lot better. I really could have. And maybe that's just something I just need to do in the future, is just, learn how to show gratitude a bit better and things along those lines, and even if I kind of put distance between myself and somebody else, what I'm trying to do is basically keep whatever the disagreements are out of the public eye. Because that was another thing because King Bean asked in the chats, am I talking about Liam? No. But on that stream, they asked me a lot about it. And I didn't really say anything about why Liam and I aren't hanging out publicly. Because ultimately, it's nobody's business but me and Liam. So, Darth Bobcat throws in a buck. So thank you, Bobcat. He says, "This is why Twitter is dangerous. It's context destruction software." Yeah, you ain't wrong. I mean, there's been times that I've tried to tell people that are arguing with me on social media. It's I cannot put this together, this idea together well in 150 whatever characters, or 240 now. But yeah, it is. It's one of those things where it's just a learning process, and yeah. So, at the end of it, what was really cool is that, we yelled at each other, we got angry, we got shit off our chest, and, he's like, "Yeah, Mike, it was good to talk to you." And yeah, it was good to talk to Ethan again, Like I said, anytime that I went on his show, I always had fun, But one thing that he said is, he's like, "You were on there too much," which, yeah, fair enough. Got a little overexcited about getting to hang out, Because admittedly, he's one of my favorite artists of all time, when it comes to comic books. That Green Lantern run is fucking godlike. you know? So, and I dig Cyberfrog too. So, I don't know. Maybe at some point, maybe bridges will get built back up. But one thing that I've just realized is that the best thing to do whenever it comes to this sort of thing is just to avoid fights altogether. Because constantly desiring conflict with other people really doesn't resolve anything. You know, not to mention, and the interesting thing about it is, like, in the years that I've known Ethan, which we first started talking like 2017, 2018, the more I've talked to him and the more I've also started my own comic book business, the more I understand his perspective on things in regards to having a show, in regards to publishing books, in regards to pressure from customers, things like that. Not that that pressure is a bad thing, but you start to understand the perspective a lot more, and you understand why things get done the way that they get done, and why certain people feel the way they do. You know, the whole thing of like being empathetic is sort of a hackneyed thing, because social justice warriors always like, oh, you need to learn empathy, blah, blah, blah. Empathy is not a bad thing. It's just, you know, maybe I need to learn a little bit more. So that'll be something to work on, you know. That's the other part of being a man. Constantly looking to improve yourself. Not just for yourself, but for everything that you have responsibility over. Because what you do does not just affect you, it affects everybody that's in your umbrella, you know. So yeah. And at the end of the day, man, you know, except for the people that are out there that like go out and try to fuck with people's businesses or try to fuck with people's lives, except for those people can fuck off and die for all I care. But to the people that are just trying to earn a living for themselves and their family, I have zero, you know, enmity towards them. Enmity is a good word. I don't use that enough. Jet Monkey makes a good point here. That's not the point. Sorry, tired is not the point. If we ain't learning, we're dying. Exactly. And it's WE''RE. But that's okay. You're tired. So I'm a grammar Nazi a little bit, but not too much. But yeah. So that was cool. And at the end of the day, you know, I try to be an open book when it comes to me, you know, and if people have questions, I try to answer them at the best of my ability. I guess I'm going to have to learn a little bit of empathy. I'm going to have to learn a little bit of tact too. So, but the good thing is that everything turned out good. That's a good reason to be happy, you know? And at the end of the day, man, there's people out there that hate us. There's people that fucking hate us. Don't want us to succeed, want to call us every name in the book, and things like that. That's the real fight. That's the real problem. So on and so forth. So, I don't think Changus is in the chat because he's probably pissed off that I'm talking about Hasbro today. Sorry, Changus. But we're gonna be talking about Hasbro. But first, before we do that, let's while I get this tab ready, let's play that beautiful Englewood trailer, shall we? I love this trailer. It's not the greatest, you know. I'd like to do more with it. I'd like to have another one in the future that's a little bit more complex, but I like this one. So let's play this bad boy. Link in the description. That did that stutter happen for everybody, or was that just me? I need a new laptop, man. I need a proper streaming computer. Like this one is. I'm doing everything I can to improve its performance, and I've done a pretty good job of it. But this thing's probably only got about a year and a half left in it, if at that. So definitely going to be something I'm going to be saving my money for. And one thing I'm curious about before we talk this Hasbro stuff. No stutter. All right, cool. Yeah, it was just on my end then. Yeah, we've had $245 raised today. Thank you guys. And then $565 yesterday. That was fucking crazy. Yeah, it was really weird. Like the trailer on my end froze for a second. I'm like, what? What's going on here? And then we're good. Fair enough. So on the Hasbro thing, I'm a little behind the times on this. But Hasbro hates you. And it sucks. So Hasbro's a toy company. They've existed forever, it seems. A lot of the toys that I bought as a kid, my dad bought them for me. But I mean, it was Hasbro stuff like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Power Rangers, were my jam as a kid. Fucking what else? I pulled this up here. And there's other games that like Furby, like who didn't play Monopoly or Twister, whose little sister didn't have a Furby that you wanted to punt across the room? I sure as fuck did, because I did do it. Because I was an evil child. Now I'm an evil man, but regardless. Who apparently runs a Whisper network. But yeah, and they own Nerf, etc., etc. So but Hasbro hates you. I just I feel the need to say that Hasbro hates you. I've been looking at some stuff that's been going on. There's a pattern I'm seeing with these guys, and it's kind of fucked. I guess it's the best word I've got for it today. It's kind of fucked. It's kind of jacked up. That a toy company who makes money off of the family, makes money off of young boys, G.I. Joe, Transformers, but also young girls. They own My Little Pony. But basically, like, it's a business about selling cool shit to families, right? That's what they do. And apparently they hate you. That's interesting, right? Chaos Sonic throws in a buck here and says, sorry, there's been a rough one. Are you going to see Get a Robo Arc? Also with Hasbro, I'm sadly not surprised, as the decisions they've been doing with Transformers is very frustrating. I don't even know what's going on with Transformers. I almost don't want to know. Optimus, if you are watching, because he often does, if there's some crazy bullshit that they're doing with Transformers you want to tell me about, because you're going to know better than I will, let me know, and I will shoot you the link. Not to mention, I just want to hang out with you. But, man, Optimus has been going through some shit. He's been going through some shit for months. And any time that I get to put on a show that he likes makes me happy, because I know it makes his day better. Optimus is like one of my best friends on the internet. Seriously. I've known him for years. We've been friends for a couple years now. That is a dude who has had my back at every single fucking turn. And any time that I get in my own head and I tend to be a doofus, he's right there to kind of offer me a shoulder to get back on my feet until I can walk properly again, So And he's one of those guys that, and at the end of the day, man, when somebody offers you that shoulder, fucking take it. But let's look at a pattern of behavior here. So so over at my the website I work for, RT. Wrong one. It started with this, at least from what I remember. Oh, and on Get a Robo Arc, yes, I plan on watching it at some point. Hasbro is bombarded with mockery after announcement that famous toy brand is gender neutral now. So, oh god, Hasbro has announced that their famous Mr. Potato Head toy will be rebranded to simply as Potato Head to break away from the traditional two genders once offered. Culture has evolved. Kimberly Boyd, an SVP and GM at Hasbro, told Fast Company about the change. Kids want to be able to represent their own experiences. Right. They're little boys and little girls. Like, we have two genders. There's only two. Now I'm demonetized if I wasn't already. Wait, this channel doesn't have monetization, so who gives a shit? But you guys are my monetization. You know, the fans are what keep me going, not YouTube. But the way this brand currently exists with the Mr. and Mrs. is limiting when it comes to both gender and family structure. No, it isn't. So in the chat, because what they're talking about is non-binary and all this other shit. So, the LGBTQ population in the United States, according to the CDC, is a certain percentage of the United States population where Hasbro primarily does business. I want you guys to let me know. I want to hear what the chat thinks, so I'll let you know if you're right or not. What percentage of the population falls under the LGBTQ XYZ BBQ umbrella? What percentage do you guys think? And I've mentioned this before, so somebody should get it right. I'm curious if somebody will, though. Okay, Melee Brawler says 6%. Anime Guy says 0.1%. Nox Celeste says 2%. Dana Parker says 3%. Nathan Childers says 1%. Christopher Thibault says 0.1%. You put the zeros in the wrong spot. Sultan Al Fahim says 10%. Rex says 3%, 1%, 5%, 5%. Less than 1, 7, 8. And Will Geary gets it right. Congratulations. I wish I had something to give you. 4%, according to the CDC, of the United States population is under the LGBT umbrella. 4%. Now, that's still a good amount of people. But of that 4%, how many of them do you think are gay married? Because I don't have these stats. But and then on top of that, have adopted children that they're going to buy a potato head for. I would imagine that the amount of people that would fall into that fucking category is pretty fucking minimal. On top of that, on top of all of that, the main people who are going to buy a potato head, oh wow, there's the accent slipping out. Potato head. The amount of people that are going to be buying a potato head, Mr. or Mrs., that is in a straight family, meaning mom and dad, you know, is much larger than that demographic that I just mentioned. And Magical Robot Pisma makes a good point. He's like, and how many give a shit? Exactly! How many people were actually complaining about this? Fucking nobody. So what's this lady's name? What's this lady's name again? Kimberly Boyd. Kim, you're stupid. Stop it. Hey, Popstar Princess, what's up? You do not have to apologize for being late. That's what replays are for. But good Lord. Good fucking Lord. That's insanity to me. So, this is what really gets me, though. Like just right here. This new change will be a way to break down the idea of two genders and nuclear families, according to the company. Fuck off! The nuclear family is the majority. Not to mention, are there really that many single mothers that really give that much of a fuck about the fact that there's a Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head? This lady's brain is a potato. Like, seriously, like, Kimberly Boyd, like, this bitch, when God was handing out the brains, there was a line of us that were in the line for brains. She decided to go to the baked potato stand. That's this bitch, okay? Holy shit. So people are making fun of it, of course, as they should. Any child of any gender can look at a potato head and dream of growing up and be a plastic spheroid with interchangeable parts. Mrs. Potato Head has also been killed off. She'll be replaced by an asexual can of Pringles. Okay, that was a good one. But you guys see my point, though? Like, when it comes to... nobody cares about Matt Walsh. When it comes right down to it, the people that have been making Hasbro so wealthy is the nuclear family. That's your target demographic, you know? And that's who you're supposed to appeal to. You know, whenever I write a comic book, I think about like what my target demographic is. So what I do when I feel the need to get that input on like kind of like the stories that I should be aware of, if I have an idea, like use this one, I look at the demographics for my YouTube channel. It's primarily men and also some women. Waistcoats just showed up. What's up, girl? And Waistcoat's very talented artist, by the way. I want more Englewood fan art. Damn it! I'm kidding. If you want to, go for it. I'm not going to turn it down. But anywho, they haven't made their money off of most people it's like are adults, you know, in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. That's most of my audience. So that's who I write for. You know, that's the main people I'm aiming at when it comes to my work, you know? So, and that's why a lot of the things ideas that I pitch are for that. Now, you could also buy it for teenagers, though. Like, so if you have a teenager in the households, like you want to get them a graphic novel, my comic books are a good fit for that. For example, Englewood Book 2, now live on Indiegogo. We are 1/3 of the way there. I think that we've got actually a couple more backers today. We got one more backer during the stream, so we're at 76 now. 25 more till we get our first 100, guys. That'll be fucking cool. Chaos Sonic throws in a buck and says they are toys. You can get two potatoes and just say they're the same gender. Do what you want with them. Exactly. But you know what everybody does with the Mr. Potato Head? They turn it into a fucking Picasso. That's what the joke was about in Toy Story. Fuck! So who is this decision for? It's for people who don't buy shit. You know, it's for... You're going to take an idea that you're aiming towards a facet of people that you think you might get some sales from at the detriment of all the other people that you're getting sales from. You know, and this is what's crippling the comic book industry, is that all the time. You know, I actually went on Twitter and I said, you know, did the old which way Western man thing with Englewood and not Starfire. You know, do you want to read a book about Starfire's shitty kid, or do you want to read a book about a superhero whooping a bunch of gangbangers' asses? Which way, Western man? And somebody tried to say that's not mainstream DC. Mainstream DC fucking promoted it. Will Geary makes a good point. Like selling steak to a vegetarian. They're probably not going to be interested in it in the first place. You have to see if there's an interest there. You know? But oftentimes, the people who buy these things are interested in them because of what they already are. You know? I've chatted with several women who are comic book fans. And a lot of the stuff that they enjoy about comic books, I enjoy too as a man. But there's other stuff they're going to like too. Aiden Paladin is one of my closest friends, right? On the internet. And one thing that, like, we had a conversation about why she really liked Englewood. And she went off all of this. And then she goes, and Elijah's hot. Okay. I'm not going to argue. He's definitely a very handsome character. But like that wasn't it, like I was not aiming to make him a sexy beast. I was aiming to make him a badass. And I guess the muscles and fighting ability and all this other stuff, it's like men want to be him, women want to be with him. Because like her thing on Daredevil, she thinks Matt Murdock's hot. You know? But you know, oftentimes what the story is the reason people will get into it. Sister Pets. People want the Englewood BBC. Oh God. This reminds me when when I went ungraded and we announced the Englewood Peregrine crossover. When we talked about it, fucking Mike. He puts a fucking Brazzers logo on the crossover poster. Oh God, that was hilarious. Oh man. But yeah, like that's something that it's like people are already going to be there because of what it is. You know, it's the same like when I talk to women who are fans of Gears of War. They like Gears of War because it's a, it's a cover-based shooter with tons of gore and violence and great fighting and all this other shit. And they have a thing for Marcus Phoenix. You know, I saw that Chaos Sonic. I wanted to finish my point. Chaos Sonic says, also the problem with Cobra Commander is they will not sell hooded Cobra Commander because it apparently reminds me of the KKK. Plus, the I Am Not Starfire comic can eat a dick. Make Nightstar truly canon. If Damian Wayne can be canon, why not her? Ooh, that'd be interesting. So yeah, that is how it be. One thing that's kind of funny is I want to say it was Serena said to me once that she wanted a poster. For those of you who don't know, Chris Love did the one of the posters for the first Englewood campaign, and I'm going to try to bring it up real quick. He did one of the posters for the first Englewood campaign that is of Angelica, who is Elijah's top student, and it is a very smexy poster. Here we go. And Serena said she wants one like this, but with Elijah. And I might do that with book 3. I might do a beefcake poster. But what I really want to do is I want to get a bunch of my buddies together and do a swimsuit issue for charity. You know? I think that would be really cool. And we can put Angelica on it. We can put Elijah on it. I don't give a shit. You know? But anywho. God, I love this poster so much. I'm going to have Hatman send me one of these and I'll frame it. But anyway. as it stands. So that was the first thing with Hasbro. Then it gets worse. Wokeopoly. Hasbro mocked over decision to scrap all of Monopoly's community chest cards for refreshed versions. Hasbro's proposed update to its classic property trading board game Monopoly has been met with a social media backlash from critics who accuse the Joy Giant, pandering to the woke mob, by scrapping the community chest cards. The U.S. company announced last week all 16 of the cards, which allow players to collect extra money, will be replaced to bring them in more in line with current social attitudes. Oh, God. The existing set of cards offer players unexpected cash bonuses as second prize in a beauty contest for $10 or bank error in your favor for $200. According to Hasbro, however, they are overdue for a refresh because the COVID-19 pandemic has given the word community a whole new meaning. Oh, Jesus. The toy maker has invited fans to help change Monopoly's 85-plus year history. Probably not fans. By voting online for the new community chest cards, such as Shop Local, Rescue a Puppy, or Help Your Neighbors. This one did not turn out well during the pandemic because now people are taking those puppies back. Which, by the way, I want to say this right now. To anybody out there that adopted a cat or a dog during the pandemic, and now that you're going back to work, you have taken that dog back to the pound or to a shelter or something like that, you've given up that dog, you're an asshole. You are a cunt. You have zero sense of what responsibility is, and you can go fuck yourselves. Oh, God. I ship Carlos with himself. You know what to do. 42 people watching, by the way. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. But anyway. On announcing the move, however, Hasbro drew instant mockery with several social media users branding the updated game Wokeopoly and accusing the company of giving in to social media mobs. Because let's face it, if you're really gonna put like things to an online vote of things to have in that community chest, like the first thing that the internet is actually going to vote for is Hitler did nothing wrong. Let's be honest. This is a good point. At least they take them to the pound. In my shithole country, they just leave them on the streets to infest to no end. Jesus. I'm just a big thing of, like, if you're going to adopt a pet, take care of that pet. You know? Take care of that pet. And by the way, like people are saying in the chat, man, if you're enjoying the stream, please hit that like button for me. It's a big help, to say the least. Chunky says, because we love you. Hey, I feel it, man. I mentioned this yesterday to some people. It's like, lately I have felt more like me than I have in a long time, man. A long fucking time. It has made an unbearable month in July a bearable one. You know, like that. That's the great thing about having a good audience. You know, it's like, you guys, like, I can come here on stream and you guys can just, you pour me with love that sometimes I feel like I don't even deserve. And it makes things better. I'll talk about how shitty my month has been after we're done with this part. But Chaos Sonic says, after throwing in $1, so thank you for your generosity, he says, is it wrong I want to see Angelica box Ryoma from Getter Robo as sparring? PS is pointing out that with the Kamen Rider Black review, it is a double review of Black and Black RX. Yes. I've been wanting to watch them. I just haven't really found the time. I don't know why. Like, because somebody mentioned, like, that's actually, like, the best Kamen Rider in regards to, like, a story that a lot of people that aren't into Sentai could get into. So I'm looking forward to watching it, for sure. I might actually start on it tonight then. But anyway, it also, Servant throws in $1 and says, Online vote means online in a closed form. Also, don't ever take a pet back unless sudden allergies or it's dying on the table. The big thing for me is that, like, if you knew that once your job came back, you couldn't take care of that pet and you adopted it anyway, that's a lack of responsibility on your part. So, because admittedly, like, I've had to give up pets before, but it was because of a sudden onset of bad shit happening, So I took that pet, but I found them a better owner, somebody who could take care of them, So, because I had to give away a cat that I had when I was in like 22. So, but she ended up with a better home, Bobcat throws in a bucket and says, think about it. Monopoly destroys families. Who would actually be fans of Monopoly? People who hate the nuclear family, so they are catering the core tempo. Good Lord. But no, man, Monopoly was always one that I could never get into because I was a kid and I liked video games. But then when I played it as an adult, I liked it a lot more. But yeah, like when it comes right down to it, no, you don't need to. Like, it's fine. Like, if you want to cater to the people who, you want to cater to the people that want these changes, here's what you do. Here's my pitch. So Hasbro, if you do this, you owe me money. I want 5% of every sale, which is going to be like $10. Bernie Sanders Monopoly. Hear me out. Bernie Sanders Monopoly. There's one space where you seize the means of production and everybody's poor except the first guy. Anyway. Yeah. That's my pitch. Now we come to today. Woke Hasbro. Well, this is actually last week, but introducing kids to racial bias in new program. Hasbro insider David Johnson, an engineer contracting with the toy corporation, is interviewed by James O'Keefe, founder of Project Veritas. In the video embedded below, Johnson discusses the critical race theory training he was obliged to attend as an employee of Hasbro, which inspired him to leak a video of Conscious Kids co-founders Katie Ishizuka and Ramon Stevens addressing Hasbro's staff about infants' inherent racism. I need something to throw. I feel better now. Racist babies! What? Really, man? We're doing racist babies now, huh? That's where we're going with this? Really? The fuck? Fucking infants' inherent racism. That baby gave me the side eye. Clearly, it's against Jews. The fuck? Throughout the interview, several resources from the program's own website are shown at various moments. In several instances, the panelists insist that infants as young as 3 months old can exhibit racial bias. Why is the rum gone? At one point in the program, they claimed that toddlers could be as racist as adults by the age of 3. While at another point, they claimed children could be as racist as adults by the age of 5. These are the people making the toys. These are the people making the toys. And they hate you. They think you're a racist. They think that like everything is racist. They think that you need to throw something else. I do need to throw this can in the garbage. Yeah, warm soda. Wow, I overshot that like a motherfucker, and I got orange soda on myself. Damn it. Wash that off later. But good Lord. They hate you. They hate all of you in the chat right now. They hate you. Whether you want it or your kid wants it or whatever, they hate you. They think your children can be racist at 3 years old. Let's take an example from my history. From my Aunt Linda. God rest her soul. My Aunt Linda, when I met her, for the very first time as a baby, I threw up on her. Wasn't because I hated her, because I was a fucking baby. Babies don't even have any sense of what race is. They know mom and they know dad. That's it. The funny thing is I know the studies that they're citing, which one of these studies that I read a while ago tried to suggest that, because what they did was they took a white baby and they put the baby in a room with a white woman and a black woman, and the baby went to the white woman, so they assumed the baby was racist. No. It's because the baby sees something it's familiar with, a tone of color, and they're going to gravitate towards it because they don't understand the world because they're fucking babies! Combing my beard in frustration. But I have to do things with my hands. So, good Lord. This is so fucking dumb. Okay. Couple donations. Chaos Sonic says, for $1, Kamen Rider Black and Black RX are basically the best introductions to Kamen Rider. Black is the first one. Think of it as a tale of two brothers. RX is dealing with the aftermath. Yes, I'm changing the topic because racist babies just broke me. And then Servant says, let's see, talk with Ethan about doing toys ASAP. I might at some point. I'm not ready there yet. I'm not ready yet for Englewood toys. I want the comic to grow a bit more before we do that. We're not there yet. You know, Ethan is there, success-wise. You know, Cyberfrog's $1 million comic book. He's there. You know, me, it's got to grow a bit more. We'll get there sometime, though. I have no doubt. It's just going to take time. But the thing is that I am 100% convinced that Hasbro hates you. All of you in the chat. I'm genuinely convinced that they hate you. And me, and anybody else that buys their shit. Because the only reason that you would hire people like this is because you don't like your consumer base. For whatever reason. Because if you're sitting there saying that babies, which you can buy a Mr. Potato Head for, or now just a potato head, or 3-year-olds that you could buy a G.I. Joe for, or a Furby, or 5-year-olds you could buy a G.I. Joe, or like you're admitted that your target demographic you're seeing your target demographic is racist. That's hatred, in my opinion. That's an absolute hatred of the consumer. To just make that blanket assumption about people. I don't think that about you, though. I think that's bullshit. You know, I think it's absolute bullshit that people act like this towards people that are just trying to get escapism or just cool shit for their kids. You know? Which is why you should buy Englewood. This is something that Armand sent me. He drew over a frame of animation from G.I. Joe and put the Saint in it. But this is the goal, man. If they are not going to, if they're not going to take you seriously, I'm going to. Because to be honest with you, your money's just as green as anybody else's. You know? It's not hard to treat the customer well, man. It's just not. It's not hard at all. So yeah, like Jesus Christ. I find it so fucking ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous that these people will not take people seriously, but I do. I want you guys to buy my comic books. I want you guys to buy everything that I do because it's for you. And knowing is half the battle. Bobcat throws in a buck and says, racist baby sounds like a rejected Kamen Rider villain from the 1970s. Jesus. Chaos Sonic throws in a buck and says, don't forget the adult collectors. They hate the adult collectors. Oh, I have no doubt. No doubt whatsoever. So. All right. How long have we been going tonight? Oh, God, it's been over an hour. Holy shit. Like, time fucking flew. Like, seriously, where'd the time go? Let's do Q&A. Answer some questions from the chat. Devin Silver asks, weird question. Can I donate to your comic, but not get the comic? Okay. I don't want to use Streamlabs. I want your comic to succeed, even if personally I don't want it. Yeah, you can actually. If you go to Indiegogo, you go to the front page of the campaign. If you click back it, at the top, it says make a contribution, and you can just chuck in money. So yes, that is very possible. Crystal Hydra says he's going to bed, so thank you so much for stopping in, dude. Have a good night. Sleep well. Let's see here. Same thing with Ricky Joy. Thanks for popping in, Rick. I appreciate you, buddy. There you go. Buying Englewood 2 is a fuck you. Dude, buying anything in fucking Comicsgate, honestly, is a big fuck you to any of these major companies. They don't want us to succeed. They don't. They don't want us to succeed at all. So you guys helping us succeed is huge. Jankus throws in a bucket and says, Hasbro's been making stupid decisions, but to me at least, the quality of the product I buy hasn't dropped drastically. So until their dumb ideas affect the quality of Transformers, I'll probably still buy their stuff. If they're doing all this other shit, it's gonna come to Transformers eventually. Trans rights fucking Optimus Prime is gonna happen. And the box art is gonna be like the word trans will be in big letters and formers will be very, very small. Like, so just so you know, it's gonna happen. I like this here. I believe we should put a middle finger on our wallets. Let them do the talking to dipshit companies. I agree. My wallet's kind of plain, so a little middle finger on it. Maybe I could paint one if I wanted to. I've got an airbrush. There's Optimus. Optimus, did you see earlier where I said if you want to come in, you can. All you have to do is let me know. I'm curious on your whether or not you think or how quickly they're gonna fuck up fuck everything up. But he says here the only hope is Takara not allowing it. We'll see, man. Hardboiled asks, when you get to that point, could you see yourself doing Gunpla type kits for Argonauts? Could make some major cha-ching from that. Yes, we are looking into it. Xavier and I have thought about it. Give me 1 second, Optimus. I'm going to send you the link. I'll send it to you over Discord. Give me just a sec. But says you're better to deal with crowdfunding comics over mini comics in stores. I agree. I was talking to Matthew Fowler, who I think he's from Peoria, so he's just north of me. And he's been doing indie comics for a while. And he says that like a lot of the shops in our area, because he doesn't live that far from me, like his books apparently sell out every time. So I'm thinking of possibly doing the same thing with Englewood and Englewood Book too. You know, it just kind of depends. But all right, where be the Optimus? There we go. All right, link is in your Discord, Optimus. Let's see here. You get to pull a chance. Would you do a crossover with Todd McFarlane with the Saint and Spawn? If Todd McFarlane said to me that he would, because you got to understand how much I look up to Todd McFarlane. Fucking right, I would. I don't think he will. I don't see that ever happening. But I love Todd. He's the guy that a lot of us on the indies really look up to. You know, there'd be the Optimus. What's up, man?
Aloha.
Been a while. How you doing?
Yeah, doing good. How about you?
Dude, I'm having a pretty good day.
Good.
I've had a shitty month, so having a good day is kind of nice.
I have the feels on that. You know, you kind of know what I've been going through, but
yeah,
you know, it is what it is. So
yeah, like so let me kind of give you an idea of like how I actually was going to tell the chat this, but now that you're here, I can get a reaction.
Okay.
So here's my July.
Mm-hmm.
July starts off with one of the units in my apartment building catching on fire.
Nice.
Wasn't mine, obviously, but that happened. Then after that, my pay got delayed for some reason.
Oh.
So I didn't get paid until like a week ago. So up to that point for food, I was basically eating only vegetables. I had a whole week where I didn't eat meat.
Oh.
That sucked. On top of that,
a forced vegan. That's not good.
Yeah. On top of that, my car's having problems. It's either the alternator, the starter, or the battery.
Mm.
All of that,
and none of those are cheap fixes.
No. Well, it's cheaper than it used to be, though.
Yeah.
Just because of the pandemic, like auto parts went down. Everything else went up, but
Mm-hmm.
But
the installation is usually what's killing on that anyway.
I mean,
anyway.
I can switch a battery or a whatchamacallit, I've never changed the starter of those 3 parts. That's the only thing I've never done. But that happened too. It's like, man, I cannot win this month, you know?
Yeah.
Chaos Sonic says Optimus care to tell Micah about the problems Transformers toys are going on with as of recently.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I haven't kept up with them as much, as I used to. But I will say that just from seeing some of the media attached to it, like the recent, like when IDW relaunched the universe of Transformers, is like, oh god, it's literally we're down to the representation angle in Transformers. Well, we got to have an autistic Transformer. Like, no, we don't. We really, really, really don't have to have that. The whole, you talked about the Transformers. That was already a thing, right? They already started that.
Oh shit.
That was they did that in not even in the new stuff. In like this is like a year and a half, 2 years ago. They'd already started that in the comics. Yeah.
Oh no.
They were having like Transformers that were male start reformatted themselves as female. They said it felt more natural. In fact, I would say the Torchbearers, who are like you probably heard of the one they created, the all female combiner, Victorion. That a couple of those members were previously quote male Autobots that became female.
What the fuck? This is why I'm into Gundam. Like we already have autism. We have Camille.
Yeah. I was like, you have space autism. You already have it. You don't need.
Yeah, we have Camille. You
got a sample of everything in Gundam. You got your space autism. You got your space fascism. You got yeah. And you got of course the man who never betrayed anyone in his life ever.
Yes, Quattro Vegeta, who is totally not Char Aznavour.
He's never been Char Aznavour. I don't know where those rumors came from. It's never happened.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to start telling people reject the Transformer and embrace the Gundam. Oh shit! But yeah, that's fucked. What the hell?
I remember reading it. I'm like, yeah, what? And you see, this all started because of this stupid thing they did with RC and her spotlight. Oh, you don't know this? Yeah,
I don't know that either.
Okay, you're gonna love this one.
Okay.
So there was a Decepticon called Jiraxis, right? He was a G2 villain. He came along in Generation 2 in the comics especially, and he like wiped the floor with Megatron like he was nothing.
Right.
He just beat the crap out of him. And of course he killed Optimus, but killing Optimus is like, breathing air.
Yeah.
He'll come back. It's fine. And so in this IDW continuity, they had RC, who was a guy. And Jiraxis wanted to do experiments. What would happen if I changed their personality to a female? So RC is a forced transition. And the whole thing was...
Fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, Gabe the Gin. I recall a certain hack writer that was involved in Transformers comics. That's Mags. Remember Transformers and Visionaries? That was her.
Oh God.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I don't want to live on Cybertron anymore if this is what's going on. Like,
man. That's insanity.
Yeah, and that's the thing. RC was a complete, because it broke her. It was like what he did to her just broke her psyche, and she was just a homicidal maniac. She would kill anything. Yeah.
So not only did they make RC trans, they made it a trans murderer.
Yeah.
How's that supposed to look good for trans people?
So it was Mag's fault that Cup died. Oh, yeah. That was I think, she killed Cup. I think she killed Ironhide too, if I remember correctly. Like,
who kills Cup?
Right. Oh, that's another thing. You're gonna love this. On top of that, to give you some more of the great things that happened in IDW's run of Transformers, Cup was an addict. Because at some point he got like busted up because he's Cup. Of course he got busted up. He's a grizzled war veteran, right?
Yeah.
So they had to put him back together, but he kept like going sideways. Kept going crazy. He couldn't do anything. He wasn't Cup anymore. So they gave because originally we all just thought it's a cool thing they gave to Cup. It's what they called a cigar, right? It looks like a little cigar, like a robot cigar kind of thing, and he just chomped on it while he. So I thought it was like. Originally I thought it was just a visual thing. So, it's just to make Cup look cool. I'm chomping on a cigar because I'm a grizzled war veteran and I'm going, I think he was like leader of the Wreckers.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I was like, it made sense. It was cool. It's like, no, they had him addicted to this stuff so he could function. Yeah.
Why? Why do they hate fans? Like, seriously.
Dude, it is so... It was literally one of the times they said, Unicron is coming. I said, good.
Unicron 2024. Like, let's do it.
It's like literally, like, I remember, I think there was Megatron shirts that were years ago. It was so funny. It was I think it was 2000 or 2004 election. I forgot which one. It was a Megatron shirt that said, vote for Megatron. Why vote for a lesser evil?
Yeah, same with Cthulhu. Like,
yeah, just go ahead and get it out of the way, and
Good Lord.
Don't forget the mess that was Megatron. Oh God. So Megatron became an Autobot. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. He changed his ways. He was wanted to repent for what he had done, and so the only way to repent was to become an Autobot. That was the one. It would have been a good story, I think, if it was done right, but it wasn't because IDW and these hack writers that they have, and you see who they're employing. I mean, they're employing people like Mags.
Yeah.
So I mean, they want to make money. Godzilla versus Cthulhu. Well, it depends on which version of Godzilla and which version of Cthulhu. It always goes down to which version we're using. But
Yep.
I seem to remember that Transformers is meant to be for children. Yeah, that's interesting. That's
Yeah, well that. Like, I don't know how much of the stream you caught, but it's like everything that Hasbro is doing is like against the things that make them money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, when did you get that much fuck you money? Right.
Okay. Well, to give you an example. You remember when they, when Nickelodeon did the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I'm not talking about Rise. I'm talking about the ones before that. The CGI animated one. And the reason it was successful is because not only was it, still good for kids like today.
Yeah.
But it harkened back to a lot of the cool stuff that we remember. And it won't just, this new Turtles. It harkened back to the 80s. It harkened back to Eastman Laird, Turtles. It harkened back to the Archie stuff. It was bringing in all this cool stuff that were like, oh man, I remember that. That was cool. This, that, the other. Then they did. Here's the funny thing. If you probably don't keep up on TV like some folks do, but if you go to Nickelodeon, you don't see Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles anywhere. You don't. They just don't care because it didn't do anything. It was not successful. They just replayed the 2014. I think it's 2012 to 2018 Ninja Turtles. Why give up on something that worked, right?
I don't know, man. I don't get it. Like none of this computes to me.
Right.
At all. So, Jesus. Let's see what else the chat had question-wise. Sometimes I wonder if this indeed is the case. Because I like every social justice type I have ever interacted with is a miserable fuck.
Right.
Like that Chloe, cousin It, had was live tweeting while watching last week's show, trying to spin how I wasn't more successful than her.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the biggest dick move, admittedly, of that show. When I compared her art to Preston Acevedo's.
Oh.
That shit just ain't fair.
Oh, no.
I'm like, here's the cover for your comic book. Here's the cover for mine.
Mm-hmm. It's like, you remember that idiot who tried to compare his Peregrine painting to Art Germ's Supergirl? You remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't the dunk you're looking for.
No.
I don't think you realize that while Art Germ is good, I'm not taking anything away from them. That is a lot of filtering, a lot of Photoshop, a lot of, After Effects, a lot of things are happening with that.
Was done in the color layer.
Yeah.
Not on the pencils.
But that was all, that's why I say it's like, what Preston did was all canvas.
Yeah.
So I don't, it wasn't, even if it was a fair comparison, it's not a fair comparison. I said, if you would have thrown Alex Ross at him, like, okay, yeah. okay, I get you there. But you're looking at, with Preston stuff, especially his painted stuff, it's like you're looking at the dude. He's on the. I've told him many times. I said, you're on Joe Jusko's level, and that's for me. Somebody who's a huge fan of Joe Jusko's work. That's a huge compliment coming from me. So like. I was like I said, that's not the dunk you think it is, guy.
No.
In fact, a lot of people were coming in and says, "Well, I not really like the one." I think Peregrine's was on the left. They said, "I'm really liking the one on the left, though." So it didn't. Like I said, it didn't turn out like they thought it was going to.
Yeah.
So
miserable bastards. Servant throws in a buck, says, Micah can still be snarky when needed, but these goofs make it easy sometimes. He says, can you get your thoughts on the Netflix stuff, given it looks like Kevin outright lined it is still trying to? I have not watched the new Masters of the Universe yet. Is it out?
I don't think it's officially out. I think it's but the reviews are coming out, and all the reviews are basically confirming everything that we thought.
Yeah.
That it is not a He-Man story. It's a Tila story.
Mm-hmm.
It's out tomorrow. That's what
okay.
Pop Star Princess is. I was about to say.
Yeah.
I was about to say Pasta Princess. Change your name to Pasta Princess. It's funnier.
Nah. I will probably watch it and come to my own conclusions. But I do get it's like
fair enough.
I do get why people are pissed because Kevin Smith he really was not honest about what he was doing with it.
No. Because remember, originally he said this is a direct right after the last episode sequel to Masters of the Universe, from the 80s. Then, oh no, it's a spiritual successor. Then why even talk about it? Just say it's your own interpretation of Masters of the Universe. Just say that and be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Then of course he lied about being a fan because they found multiple times where he said he was never a big into Master, into He-Man and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I made the point on Graded the other night that a lot of the things don't make sense because there was a line from the trailer where Tila says, I've spent 5 years trying to get away from magic, and now you want me to save it? I was like, Tila is literally the daughter of the sorceress. Literally. I mean, that's not even a euphemism. No, literally born from the sorceress. Tila would be, and is more than likely the successor to the sorceress's power. So that's bunk. That's stupid. And then the thing is, there's another little known nugget in this that apparently there was a Dark Horse put out a prequel comic to this.
Mhm.
And it's just so silly because from what they are thinking, from what what this is leading is Tila is upset that she finds out that Adam is He-Man.
Okay.
And granted, I would get that. I could kind of understand that. Especially in the way they're telling it. I said, but if you look at the 80s, I always said, it's like, dude, anybody who doesn't realize in that point that Adam is He-Man is a freaking idiot because He-Man is just Adam with a tan. The same build, the same everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've always said making him kind of like smaller and a little wimpy is a better way to use that, to use Adam.
Yeah.
Because then you can't believe, it's like, nah, it's no way that guy's He-Man.
Like they did in the remake in the early 2000s.
Yeah. I saw some people on online trying to crap on that. I was like, dude, that was pretty good. I really enjoyed
that was badass.
Yeah.
Like,
they said all they did was spin their weapons around and try to look. I was like, yeah, but you got to realize of the culture at that time, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking. We're talking about. We just came from like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and movies like that. That were all about shit like that. It's like, let's show off how awesome we are with our weapons.
Exactly.
So them spinning around their swords and maces and stuff like that. Whatever.
And they actually fought.
Yeah.
Like back in old 80s cartoons, nobody really ever fought.
Yeah, that was something mentioned in an article I read about that. They said He-Man, if you notice, 9 times out of 10, He-Man had to like use his mind, to get out of these situations, not his power.
Yeah.
And so yeah, in the 2000, I mean, they actually were fighting. There was blows being thrown.
Yeah.
Hands were being got.
It's like, he's fucking He-Man. I want to see him pull up a tree and hit somebody with it. Like,
Yeah.
he's as buff as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, let's do some muscle stuff,
And then I made the proclamation the other night, and it was funny because nobody disagreed with me because they know I'm right. Canonically, He-Man is more powerful than Superman.
This is true.
Because, well, the main reason, I mean, in a strength for strength, they'd probably be on par, but because he's based in magic, he has the edge. So, let's see.
But
well, it's fun. I was just reading Miguel's comment about the reception of Gal Gadot. Yeah, that one. Well, the thing is like the Brave series was the fallback.
Yeah,
it already was a fallback to Transformers. That happened already. Don't forget 2000's Tila is sexier. I would agree with that. And plus, like somebody was talking about, well, it's all about empowerment. I was like, Tila was the head of the Royal Guard.
yeah.
How can you get? I mean, that's literally what, like fourth in line, fourth from the throne at that point.
Yeah, she was already a badass.
She was ahead of her father. Man at Arms. She was ahead of him as far as how badass you are in the kingdom.
Like, fuck, dude. Like like.
Does He-Man ever actually use magic to cast a spell? No.
All
his power, he's imbued with it. He's not an actual spellcaster.
Yeah.
If anything, original She-Ra, not whatever that thing was that came out a couple years ago. Original She-Ra was more magic based because her sword could actually project energy.
Yes.
So.
Oh man. So the good news is I've actually sold a few copies of Englewood Book 2 tonight.
Oh, nice.
We are now at let me do the thing here.
Oh no, I'm so tiny.
78 backers. 14 days left. Just around 35%. Not too bad. We're probably going to have to extend on this one, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I understand, because the fact of the matter is that, fulfillment didn't go as planned because Hatman's having a shitty July too.
Mm-hmm.
So
July just sucks.
yeah, it's been awful.
Mm-hmm.
But we've definitely made the most out of it.
Oh yeah.
You know? And I appreciate everybody who has backed books so far having faith in me. You know, this is gonna be really fucking good.
Yeah.
And then as Optimus can attest to it, the Englewood Peregrine crossover is gonna be really fucking good.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the script was amazing.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, there was only I think it was only 2 or 3 things you had to change as far as interpretation, and that was it. But you nailed her on the first go around pretty much. So
I hadn't even read Peregrine's script yet.
Mm-mm.
I got all of that just from talking to Xavier and Piper about her.
No. So Gabe said, what did he say? Let me go back. So, never got into He-Man. Kind of considered watching the original or 2000s cartoon, but I don't know. The 80s series, the entire thing is uploaded to YouTube, and it's on their official website, so it's not like it, on their official account, so it's not like, you'd be cheating watching it on YouTube or anything. So
yeah.
As far as the 2000s, yeah, you could find it around.
You might have to sail the high seas, but
no, they got it on YouTube. I've seen it on YouTube.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Mm-hmm. I think they're putting it out in 3 episode blocks, so it's like an hour and a half worth of He-Man for the 2000s. So they're not bad.
Yeah.
What about the 4th of July?
I missed on it because of the car.
Oh yeah, well.
So I didn't get to spend any time with my family. I was very, very angry. So, the one thing that was kind of cool though is I was pissed off from sitting here at home, and it's time for the fireworks and all this other stuff. So I'm just gonna go outside and get some fresh air, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I shit you not, the sky all around me, because apartment building and I live in the dead center of town, so everywhere I looked, left, forward, and right, there were fireworks going off.
Mm-hmm.
That I could see from my apartment building. Okay, that's pretty fucking cool. So it actually salvaged it a little bit.
Right.
But Hardwick and Bentho has a question. Think it'll ever be as cheap and easy to self-publish comics as it is to self-publish prose novels? No.
The only way it gets cheap is volume.
Yes.
So when you get to a point where, I mean, the best way to put this, when you make enough money off one to start funding the next one, that's when it gets cheaper and easier.
Yeah.
Because you're already rolling production for the next, project kind of thing.
Exactly.
That's, until you get, but it takes a while to get to that point. And even then, it's I've been reading about this whole thing with the international now with VATs. And I've heard it's a pain.
Yeah. Xavier and I were throwing some things around last night to try to figure out how we could probably avoid it.
Yeah.
But
because it's the EU thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mostly. Yeah. Because even even thinking about it, it's even using some of my friends in the UK to try to do some fulfillment wouldn't work because GB is no longer part of the EU. So
yeah, it would only work for Britain.
Yeah. So
yeah, it sucks.
Thanks EU.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, we're already heading towards a freaking, not going to jump into this too hard. We're already heading into a big recession, I think, because of, hyperinflation and everything. But yeah, let's add more taxes on top of that. Good job.
Yeah.
But let's see, Chaos Sonic. Speaking of which, there was a way to make it, since I realized I forgot to get a paragraph issue 1 as long as it ended, so I fucked up on it. Once I get the books and we start fulfilling it, after fulfillment, whatever we have left over, I'm gonna eBay them. So, because I thought, I'm kind of like the way Ethan does that. It's just whatever you have left over, just put it in a bundle and sell it on eBay.
Yeah.
I just think that's a better idea. And because you don't need to be sitting on product for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
Because that's basically, you hold on to a few issues for yourself and things like that, but don't sit on crates of books. And you got to over-order just in case, you have to replace books and things like that. But once you got mostly everybody satisfied, get rid of that stuff. Just bundle it up and put it up, put it on eBay. My our plan is, since it's kind of like we're kind of doing like the mail-in method. Like once we do Peregrine 2, we'll offer Peregrine 1, but it'll have a different cover.
Yeah.
So it will be, this is, first edition, and then what comes next will be, a second edition. But that, that's like the cost for that is like literally just printing the book, because you've already done production on it and everything. So,
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. And listen to Brain. Go back Englewood Book 2. Do it now. If you haven't done it, do it.
Oh, yeah. Because once we go in demand, that Dracula poster disappears. Just so you guys know.
You only get one chance.
Snatch that sucker up. Let's see here. What else we got for the chat tonight? How much of the show did you catch, by the way?
Probably about 10 minutes before you invited me in, because I was traveling. So
yeah, I had a talk with Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, it was a public talk, but there's a possibility we might patch things up. I hope, at least. I think some progress got made.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I didn't realize some of the stuff that I had said had pissed him off as badly as it did. So, Hardwick also wants to know, am I interested in writing any prose novels? I'm actually working on a novella that is a prequel to Project Lazarus, which is the book that has been in development for so long it's kind of embarrassing, but it's getting there. Optimus, did I ever show you the last sketch I got of Alpha from that?
I think I saw it on a stream, but I'll be glad to look at it again, because I thought it was really cool.
I actually have like one of each character now, so now we know what the team looks like. Let me dig these up real quick, because we had a very intriguing process in getting all of this done. And I'll read that donation in just a second. Why is this not? There we go. Up. There we go. Okay. Donation. Somebody's throwing money at me. So let me see what they're saying. Serena says, does Optimus know anyone that can help her set up and handle finances of her campaign? Do you know anybody who is good with the monies?
I mean, I will tell you straight off the bat, 110%, do get an LLC. First and foremost. Because I had to file my taxes with that money. Damn.
Oof. Yeah.
That's all I got to say. Let's just say a mid 4-figure tax bill just to the Feddies. And I wasn't happy about that. So oh man, that looks nice.
Yeah, so here's Alpha in all his thick glory.
Look at that ass.
That is a very large man.
That's a very yeah, like I said, he's very well defined.
Oh yeah. Somebody said he's wearing fatigues. Shouldn't they be more baggy? I'm like, look how thick his legs are.
Yeah, I mean, at some point when you're such a chunky boy that it doesn't matter what fatigues you wear.
Yeah.
Stretchy pants only stretch so much.
Exactly. But this is him with his jacket on. So the big thing about Alpha here is he wears, compared to the other two that you're about to see, his uniform is very simple because he doesn't need body armor. He is the body armor.
Mm-hmm.
And he's his powers are basically super strength, super durability, he can actually run at an accelerated pace, but it really is more like just leaping at incredibly low to the ground.
Mhm.
He can leap massive distances like the Hulk can too. He's kind of a Hulk analog in some senses.
Mhm.
The difference is that his power and the ability to use it requires for him to have a stable mind. So he does not get stronger by getting angrier. He gets stronger by being more focused.
Mm.
So, and when he does get that focused, he is so durable that he's harder than diamonds. But, yeah, I would put his strength on par with the Hulk. There is a point in Project Lazarus where when he starts bounding towards something in a full sprint, the impact from his foot hitting the concrete is a crater. Like it's insane. He just boom.
He's pushing so much force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and just imagine what happens when he punches something.
Oof.
Yeah. And there's a point in the book also where he's doing the Samson thing, but with two hydraulic presses
pushing against them. Yeah.
Yeah, that are like I think it was like 500 tons on each side.
Mm-hmm.
He's fucking powerful.
You might remember one of my favorite scenes from the one of the old X-Men. This is a Claremont run back in the day, where it's got they're training in the danger room, and Colossus is pushing against like two presses coming in, and he kept saying, I'm not strong enough, I can't do this,
Yeah.
And so Wolverine jumps on the press, right, in between them, and he's like, all right, Petey, let's see what you really can do. And he's like, comrade, you must move. He says, you will die. He said, well, you got to go sometime. And then, he exerted so much force that he broke the press at that point. And then, Wolverine said, I knew you could do it, kid. Just needed the motivation. And what was funny was like afterwards, like Cyclops says, well, I don't really like the way you did it, but good job on, getting to do that. By the way, you need to fix the danger room.
Man, Claremont was so fucking good.
Yeah, man. It's funny because I think about, how everybody says, everybody hates Cyclops, fuck Cyclops.
Yeah.
Claremont made the dude likable.
Oh yeah.
He made most of the characters likable. So it was like, anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic.
Well, speaking of Claremont, like Claremont's X was a big inspiration for this book. So, So this is Alpha. This is Sigma, the cyborg of the team.
Oh, nice.
Here is the Apache armor. Now, one thing that I'm thinking of doing away with the bandana because it makes him look too much like Deathstroke.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of this is pretty well kept.
I told you what to do with the bandana. Make it energy.
Yeah, but he's not really an energy-based character.
Shut up. Just do it. It's cool. You got to look at this point. The armor looks cool. You're going for cool factor at this point, right? Yeah, we know how it functions. We know what it's going to do. Just have a cool point. Give him an energy bandana. It'd be awesome.
Well, the coolest part of this is that this armor is like white and gray, but because this is called the Apache, as it says here, concealment. In his forearm, like the biceps here, this point of articulation, this opens up, and two different weapons on each side fold out. One of them is a tomahawk. The other one is a Bowie knife.
Nice.
So that's the melee weapons he uses. In one of his thighs, he has an unfolding compact bow, and in the other thigh is custom arrows for it.
Sweet.
So he looks a bit like a cross between the Terminator and Deathstroke, but in reality, this armor makes him more like Hawkeye.
Just it's funny you say that because you remember Deathstroke was originally called Deathstroke the Terminator.
This is true.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about this though is when you look at the mask here, what he does is he actually, before he goes into battle, he will paint over these lines of articulation with black.
Oh, so he's doing like a war paint kind of.
Exactly. So he's very fascinated with the Apache culture. So
Is he Apache?
No, he's
Oh, yeah. Or he's just a student of.
yeah, exactly.
All right.
So
he's kind of like that old, like some of them old westerns where like the hero, even though he's hired to like go and find the Apache, he has probably at one point lived with them and respects them and doesn't really want to do what they want him to do, but got to do it because it's his job.
mm,
I'm not saying he's going to go, but, guys. He's not going to go hunting Apaches. This is not that kind of book.
No.
I'm just saying that he has the respect for the culture.
yeah.
And that's why he does what he does. Yeah.
So this is about fighting demons. So and then Tyler Preston asks, he says, is it an actual tomahawk and not a battle axe that Getter constantly calls a tomahawk? No, it is an actual tomahawk. So yeah, he's this is not his like walking arsenal mode though. This is actually a stealth suit.
Mm-hmm.
This is the walking arsenal. This is the flight suit. This one is known as the hoplite, which has one of the coolest fucking mask designs I've ever seen for power armor.
Oh, I like that eagle.
Oh yeah,
That's cool.
so
This is the armor where they said, "Hey brother, how many guns you want?" He said, "Yes."
exactly. So on it he has a folding anti-material rifle, a fold over minigun. This got miniaturized in the second sketch.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
And then a rail gun on one hand.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
I mean, exactly. That's what the thing is like. Why? Why not? I mean, they can do it.
Yeah. So this is his flight suit. This is akin, of course, like armor, like Iron Man, War Machine sort of a feel.
Mm-hmm.
And then so for air support.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember where I put the micro missiles on this. I want to say it was like back here actually in these two panels. But so there's that. And then this is the Hussar.
Oh.
So his height almost 2 meters.
Mm-hmm.
This fucking thing is almost 4 meters tall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty big, which is about, let me see, 42 feet tall.
Nice.
No, wait, that's wrong.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, what you said, 4 meters?
Times 3. 10, almost 11 feet tall.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's more. It's like,
I say, no, I did not give him a Gundam.
you went kaiju size on us. I was like, what's going on, brother? Wait a minute.
No, not that big. But this is the this is his sort of like whenever the big monsters come out suit.
Why don't you answer Hardwick's question, because I can help you with this one.
Because they are able to manifest a physical form.
Yeah.
It is actually something, the details of how they do it, you will find out in 3 Nights, 4 Days, Part 2.
There you go. And it's kind of like, I always liken it to the, Gargoyles is one of my favorite series. You know, I think I've mentioned that before, but it's the concept of energy as energy, whether by science or sorcery. You know, It's like, it doesn't matter what the energy is. If it's a more powerful energy, it's going to win. You know, if yes, they're demons, they're spiritual beings, but if they're manifesting physical form, you can shoot it, you can make it bleed, you can kill it. You know?
Yeah. So, in fact, that's one of the theme or the kind of the arc statements in Englewood Peregrine is if it bleeds, you can beat it.
Yeah.
You know?
What did I say when we were talking about it? I said I want a Rocky IV moment. Yeah. You cut him. Yeah, you made him bleed. He's not a machine. He's a man. One of the best parts of that freaking movie. I'm sorry.
Oh hell yeah! but this thing right here, these armors are basically built to fight the tougher monsters that come out. Mm-hmm. In 3 Nights, we don't actually see. We see one of the fairly tough demons in the Satyr, but here's something for those of you who have read the first book. The Satyr is a low-level demon. They get bigger. And they get stronger. So yeah. 3 Nights, 4 Days, Part 2. When Preston's ready. He's doing 6 Gun Gorilla right now. So
I know, and I know if I know Brian, he's chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But anyway, this is basically an armor meant to fight the princes of hell.
Mhm.
And in Englewood Peregrine, you see one of them.
Mhm.
And Perry has a very hard time with him. So there is a point where he literally swats her out of the air, and with a very loud boom.
Mhm.
So,
Well, let's put it this way, guys. When Micah asked, he asked, "How much can I rough her up?" I mean, and the thing is like we've never been averted to her. Let's be honest, we've never been averted to her getting a butt whooping. I mean, you see it in the preview of our book. She's getting smacked around by a robot.
yep.
So yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, and so yeah, when he said like, "How much can I smack around?" I was like, "Well, what are you thinking?" And he told us like, "Oh yeah, go do it." And, like,
Yeah. So that's Sigma. Basically, most of his body is cybernetic, all four limbs. And I actually have a sketch here of how they did it. I love my artist on this, who he really thinks this stuff out. That's not the one. Here we go. So this is what the arms look like.
oh,
Like
neat.
just these are what I would call his civilian arms.
Mhm.
But these parts here are what gets swapped out. But basically, to properly do this, they had to replace some muscle, reinforce his ribs, reinforce his spinal column,
Mhm.
and then add ports here that hook into it so he can actually control these limbs.
That feel when you were tapping into some Gal Gaigar without watching Gal Gaigar. That was.
Yeah, I wrote the script before I even
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah,
So-
because it's funny because that's kind of what happens. If anybody's watched Gal Gaigar, he has his armor, and then he has civilian armor. His civilian clothes, which because he's still a cyborg. The only thing that's really left of Guy is his head. So
exactly.
yeah, so it's like it's kind of cool that you. I'm not saying I know you because I know you didn't plagiarize or anything like that. It's just kind of cool how you have similar ideas, and then you find out, oh, somebody else had that idea too. Well, so it must be a good one.
Oh yeah, exactly. So yeah, but this is what the cybernetics look like beneath it. So, and then finally, we have Omega.
The one I've been waiting for.
Yes. So this is his final costume. This armor might look a little familiar, but a little bit more. How would I put it? A little bit more complicated, a little bit more bulky than the 1.0, the finished version of that armor.
Mm-hmm.
The finished version of that armor is right here.
Oh. And they didn't think you'd be able to tie it all in.
Yeah. The armor that the Saint wears is the finished version of this. Because as you can see, it's all plates that are put together. The Saints is a much more streamlined version of this.
And what's cool about the Saints is because he wears like the hoodie and stuff, you don't really see all of it, and it's all black too. So,
yep,
that's what's cool about it. So.
Yep. He even made sure to add in the centerpiece here that would later become the Vanta Black mode.
Right.
So, Omega here is the telepath of the team. One of the jokes with him as the book goes on is that he tends to hover everywhere because he can, to the point though where he stops realizing that he does it. And he's actually having a conversation with somebody, and they look at him and they go, "Can you
not do that?" Yeah.
and because the person is the same height as he is, and he goes, "Oh, sorry," and just floats back down. But you'll notice that he has bandoliers and bullets, but he has no guns.
Mind bullets.
Yes, that's telekinesis, Kyle. But yes, that is one of his tricks. Is that he will he will uncork bullets from from the bandoliers and just boom, launch them all at once like a giant flechette weapon. He can fly, though not very fast. He is a telepath. He can and telekinetic, but his psychic abilities are relegated to touching you physically. The best way I can explain kind of how his powers work are if you've seen Elfenlade.
I was going to say Abe from Hellboy, but yeah, that works too.
Yeah, in the sense that there's a field around him at all times. And the closer you get to him, the more he can sense of you. And the sort of spiritual energy you give off. And then if he touches you, then he can see everything. Which is why he wears gloves all the time, is just so he doesn't,
accidentally
freak you out.
just, yeah.
Yeah. So he could still do it with the gloves, but it's easier for, when the gloves are off, he has no control. It's like he touches you, he's reading your mind.
Right.
When he's wearing the suit, it's easier for him to control himself.
A little modicum of control, yeah.
Exactly. But everything else, like the suit, kind of has a lot of the same functions. The difference being is that it has an eyepiece, which makes the mask a lot heavier. Which is why it's not really good for a martial artist to wear.
Right.
And then of course, like the shoulder plates are a lot bulkier. The arms aren't that different. Same with the legs, really. So it's just thicker.
Yeah. Like you said, prototype versus version 1 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
proof of concept proved kind of thing.
Exactly. And yeah, he is he's also the corpsman of the team. He's the medic.
Oh, okay.
Because that's how he served in the military. He was a naval corpsman. And he served under Sigma. In fact, when his powers awakened, it was in the battle where Sigma lost all of his limbs.
Oh, okay.
So, or at least part of it. It's I'm not going to spoil it, but the way that it wakes up, the first part that woke up was the psychic part. And he's around a bunch of dying soldiers.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Last thoughts and all that. Oof.
Yeah. So yeah, Lazarus is coming along quite well. I'm excited.
After too many start stops, right? Like
way too many start stops.
But it sounds like now you got a dependable artist and all that. So
yeah, and nothing against Bob Stone, who was the original artist. He's a nice guy, but it was just it was time to kind of move into something that I needed somebody who could do it and didn't have a bunch of other stuff going on.
Right.
Morning, Lidl. She says, "Don't say it. Don't jinx it." Man, I'm fully aware of this book's curse because my artist had life bullshit happen to him this month too.
Oh, jeez.
So
man,
yeah.
July can just suck it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
When Lazarus comes out, dude, like I literally might weep when I actually have it in my hands.
I want to ask you something, just for because of everything that's going on with Lazarus. Have you ever thought about like renaming it, hoping it would change the karma? It's just
a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
You're just like, maybe if I change the name, maybe I can get this thing going.
Yeah.
But then Project Lazarus is such a cool name. You don't want to give up on it too. It's like,
yeah,
man.
Okay. I'm not going to read that one out loud, Servant. So I'm all right though. Thank you. But yeah, the whole thing about that series though is just about getting finally getting that team out there, and in the Englewood Peregrine crossover, you actually learn the significance of them. Lidl says, "I heard on stream his first thought was the curse strikes again." I know, right? Like it's insane. This book,
it tells you how significant it is in Englewood Peregrine, guys, that one of the lines for when the big bad shows up, I'm not going to say, name or anything. He actually says, what about, I forgot the exact words, but it was like, basically, what about that one? He's talking about Alpha.
The Crimson Titan is what he calls him.
Yeah, he said, what about the Crimson Titan? He would basically, if he was still there, he probably wouldn't come back. Is basically, what I was gathering from that. It's like, he was basically saying, that guy kicked my ass.
Yeah.
So,
and this is nothing against Perry, but Alpha is stronger, which is kind of a scary thought.
Yeah, that was something we had talked about, because Micah, I want to tell you guys, Micah was very sensitive about this. He was not going to do anything that was going to be like just crapping all over Peregrine. Yeah, he did a very, very good job, because he asked straight up, how powerful is she? And we kept, just a little behind the scenes stuff. Our goals with Peregrine is she's evolving into her full strength. She's not there yet. She's growing into it. She's not like Falcon, her father, not like Silver Falcon, where he had years of experience and was at his peak when he finally died. She's just working into this, and also consider she's been out of it, for a few years. So everything is kind of working back towards her. She's still formidable, right? But putting Alpha and Perry on the scale right now, yeah, Alpha's tremendously stronger than she is right now. Could she eventually get there? You have to keep reading.
Yeah.
Is she powered? No, she's not powered by Getter.
That would be hilarious.
That would be, yeah.
But yeah, that book's gonna it opens up the Sleeveless universe a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I said, I'm also writing a novella that's a prequel to the book.
Yeah.
That some of that art will actually be featured in.
Oh, nice.
So I'm hoping to finish it probably within a couple of months.
Yeah.
It's an interesting foray, because it's the journal of Alpha's father, who is the lead researcher at the facility that they're housed at.
Yeah.
So, and basically what's gone on is, in that universe, the U.S. government has basically not quite hollowed out, but basically built into a good chunk of the Appalachian Mountains to have a training facility for this team, which is those three superpowered individuals plus a strike team to be their support. So yeah, it is it's going to be crazy. And the fact that there's a point that they just disappear and nobody knows why is big for that world, because there's not many superheroes. Elijah was the first new one in several years. And, that will also have repercussions in that world too, in other stuff that I'm writing. There's a lot of stuff.
I'm just reading what
He's really wanting it to be Getter. Are you giving her stoner sunshine?
There is going to, in probably maybe book 4, but maybe after book 4, maybe into the next arc. You're going to see something you're not going to expect. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I'll put it this way: go watch King of the Monsters and that ending. That's all I'm going to say. Look at that, and then get an idea.
But and then on top of all this other stuff, then there's Legacy.
Yeah.
I started the script on that.
Nice. I was going to tell you. I told one of my really good friends. I ran because they're big time into story building and stuff like that, world building. And I told them about Legacy, and they said, "Man, that's a really cool idea." So It ain't just like us, just like, oh, this could be cool, So, just somebody outside of the immediate group who's saying, oh yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, he's gonna be a fun character because the way that I've written him is he's in personality he's almost like a Peter Parker type. He's kind of shy, he's kind of reserved, but like his power is closer to Thor.
Yeah,
so.
I like the whole idea he gets his powers just because he was hungry.
Yeah. Running from a big Russian bear.
Yeah. Well, maybe not exactly that, but all right, before that.
Oh, good Lord. But yeah, Legacy will be fun. I love what Xavier said he wants Van Graff, what he wants Van Graff to say.
Yeah.
It's like, so you ate the apple, didn't you, stupid?
Yeah.
Or no, child. He calls everybody child. That's right. To think about that for a second.
Well, yeah, considering to him, like well, for most people currently on Earth, for the Van Graff, you are children. You're not even a babby yet. To him, it's like
it's so interesting that like the funny thing about Englewood Peregrine, whenever we get the chance to launch it, technically speaking, I'll have been the first person to have published dialogue of Van Graff.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't say anything in Peregrine Book 1. You just see him.
Yeah.
So, it's exciting.
It is.
That book in general is just going to be... It's going to be a dynamite one. That goes without saying. But anyway, we've been going for a couple hours, and there is business stuff oriented to that I do want to talk to you about. Then I'd rather not do it on air. So
Obviously.
So, real quick before we take off, obviously, thank you, Optimus, for hanging out with me.
Yeah.
We don't get to do this enough, obviously. So
yeah.
And unlike you, I don't get to shoot you out of a cannon like I do to Piper.
Yeah.
So
if everybody, I said, if you want to think about it, just think about it. That's all I'm going to say. Just think about it. That's all you got to know.
But beforehand, thank you to Servant, Bobcat, Chaos Sonic, and Changus for their donation, and Serena for their donations today. Your generosity is very much appreciated, especially in a bad month like this. Real quick, anybody in the Sleeveless universe is 9 feet tall? Yeah, the Satyr.
Already got him.
Some of the demons are. The Prince of Hell that Peregrine fights is about 9-10 feet tall. So with all that said, guys, we're going to go ahead and take off. My name is Micah Curtis. This is Optimus Deadpool. If you haven't already, go subscribe to Grade 0.5 as well. So, but until next time, see you later.
Peace.
And back Englewood.